50 is going to be a little bit longer. We're going to go through one, but I'm actually probably going to make you another video for this if you guys will watch it for your homework, okay, to talk so we can talk through this one. All right, so let's back up here and let's talk about, let's square that right there. What do I need to do to work that right there? This means what times what? Okay, so we have to multiply that whole thing out. The two terms in the middle would each be negative 2x, which would add together. Okay, now can we go backwards from here? Can you guys go from here? What two things multiply to be 4, add to be negative 4? You could get here too, right? Okay, all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually work our way backwards through a problem. So remember, like when we got something like this, what would we do here?
You would square both sides.
Not square, but square root both sides, right? Right, the opposite of square, okay. So here, what two things multiply to be negative 4 and add to be 6? Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay? But if we knew what it was, so what? Let's get rid of this 4. Now, what would be this last number? What two things add to be 6? Remember, we're looking for something that can be squared. So what plus what is 6? 3. 3 plus 3. Okay? So 3 plus 3 would give us 6. And when I multiply that together, what would that be? 9. So can I just add 9 here? Well, the rules for equations say I can
equals nothing.
add, subtract, multiply. I just have to be fair about both sides, right? So if I add 9 over here, I simply have to come over here and add 9 there. Then it's fair. I can add, multiply anything I want to, right? Okay, so then that equals 13. And now, have you seen this before?
Yeah.
From here, what do we do?
Square root both sides.
Square root on both sides. Gives us x plus 3 equals plus or minus square root of 13. Don't forget that. And then move the 3 over. Okay, so let's try another one. So remember, you have to get it in this order right here. So if it's not in that order to start with, make sure you rewrite it. So you guys write this one down. Let's do it together. Okay, the first thing we want to do is we need to move this 5. Okay, we want to move the 5 to the other side. So leave a blank here, but put your 5 there. Okay, now what two things add together to equal 2? What plus what is 2? 1. There we go. Remember, this is always going to be like half of that. Okay, so half of 2. So that's 1.
Wait, what?
You're going to take the second term there and you're going to divide it by 2. And then you're going to square it. I know it's hard because it's 1. 1 squared is 1. So plus 1. And if I add it here, have to be fair. Did we already have this conversation? We don't have any only children in here, right? Anybody an only child? No? Okay, good. So y'all know about being fair and like complaining if it's not fair. So it has to think about your sibling as you add it to the other side. Think about your sibling.
And then I wouldn't add it because I want to give it to
No. Okay, think about this is you. How's that? This is you. Okay, there we go. All right, equal. So put this together. And now what do we do to solve? Square root on both sides. So we get x plus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 6. And then we move the 1 over, so we get negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 6. How do y'all feel about it?
Wait,
Can
is it okay if you write?
go over, like, can we use one of the ones that's in our homework?
Yes, and we're going to actually use one on our, so I'm going to do one on the homework, but I'm going to choose, I'm actually going to do number 8 because it's going to be a fraction, and I want to do one like that, okay? So we're going to do number 8. Guys, here's the deal. I'm going to upload this, and you guys can walk through like one of these videos as many times as you need. Every time you do one, start playing the video and follow along, but with your numbers for that problem. Okay, so number 8 starts like this. X squared equals 7x minus 3. So I need to move them over, but I don't really need to worry about moving the 3, right? The 3 is fine where it is. What I need to do is I need to move this 7x over here, x squared minus 7x, leave your blank, equals negative 3. Now, to find what this is, remember it's two things that added together to be 7. They added together to be 7. So negative 7, just divide it in half. That's what we did on this number. Half of 2 was 1. Half of 6 was 3. We're just going to leave it as a fraction. Half of negative 7 would be negative 7 halves. Okay? And go ahead and write that in. There's no reason not to write this right here. Okay? Now, we square it on both sides. That's how we end up with this last term. We have to square that. That doesn't sound too fun, huh? So 7 times 7, 49 over 4. And that's always going to be a positive, because whether this is a positive or a negative, when you square a number, it becomes a positive, okay? So then same thing over here, plus 49 over 4. This needs a common denominator, so that's going to be negative 12 over 4 plus 49 over 4. Put those together and you get 37 over 4. And then from here, what do? Square root on both sides. Can you take the square root of 37? No. Plus or minus square root of 37. Can you take the square root of 4 though? 2. And then we move this over, so it's positive 7 over 2 plus or minus 37 over 2. Okay, so you're going to follow through these steps again and again and again. Okay? All right, so you can look at the video, follow along, go ahead and hit